What's going on, everybody? Nick B, just coming to do a quick video. News just broke a few minutes ago that Joe Biden has decided to drop out of the race. And I feel differently than most people probably do. Forgive the, goatee, the hair. I got to get a haircut. Look, I don't think this is good, nor do I think it was right, nor do I think it was fair. The Democrat Party, and again, I'm an anarchist. I have no real dog in the fight. I've voted both ways. I will probably continue to vote both ways the rest of my days and the rest of the times that we have elections. The Democrats, in my opinion, ruined the sacred and honored tradition of voting. And they did that by declaring that there was no other candidate and that they would not be holding any debates for Democrats to come and plead their case as to why Joe Biden wasn't the right candidate. That's a democratic thing. That's the democracy. That's democratic procedure. And the Democrats this time around were like, we're not going to do that. They didn't want to do it. So that left undecided young voters, whatever you want to say, within the Democrat Party, that left them with only one option, and that was Joe Biden. And the Democrats were all on board. He's our guy. He's the guy that we want to be our nominee. We're not even questioning. We're not even looking for anybody else. We're not going to do it. That's pretty much the statement they made when they said they weren't going to do any other debates. Barack Obama had to prove to people that he was the right man for the job. He was challenged by Hillary Clinton. He still had to go out there and give his case to the people, but not this time. They didn't do that. Bill Clinton had to do it. Not this time. They didn't do that. And that's what I think is bad about this whole situation. There was no other candidate that was presented to the younger audience that maybe didn't agree with what some of the stuff that Biden was saying. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you vote on, you got to look at this. I didn't like the fact that the Republican frontrunner, Donald Trump, said he wasn't going to debate any of the other candidates either, and that the Republican Party was basically saying, no, this is our guy, before anybody else really gave their case, because a lot of people within the Democrat Party really liked what Vivek had to say. Not so much as to say they were going against, what Donald Trump was saying, but they were all on board with Vivek. A lot of the youth within the Republican Party liked what Vivek was saying. You didn't get that from the Democrats. So now a lot of those younger kids that maybe feel a disconnect within their own party, they've got nothing. The guy that they thought they were going to vote for because, no matter who, vote blue, that's their saying now. They were going to vote for Joe, even though they didn't like him. They didn't agree with some of the stuff he said. And whoever they make the nominee to become the Democratic presidential nominee for this election has less than 3 months, give or take, to really put the message out there. We got August, September, October, November. So they're going to have to campaign pretty much every day in August. They're going to have to get their message out as quickly as possible. And again, I know the Democrats are saying, no matter who, vote blue. That's pretty much their mentality right now. But that's not right. And it's not democratic. When it's like, oh, just vote for him because he's a Democrat. That's wrong. And it was wrong when the Republicans said, no, Donald Trump is our nominee, before they even nominated him. This has been the most bizarre election season I can remember. So, Joe Biden has announced he's dropping out. The flip side to this is it's ageism. It's discrimination because he's old. Hey, again, I'm not here to argue politics or his case or how he acted in the debate or how he's acted in his presidency. We can make a case for that. This is wrong at every level, that he was pressured by people within their party who 4 months ago, Joe's our guy. Even his good buddy Barack Obama was still saying months back that Joe Biden was the best man for the job. And now he's not. And if you paid attention to the media, they started turning on him right after the debate. Again, they don't care who is the candidate. They just want to keep power. And that should frighten everybody, especially if you're one of these younger Democrat voters that doesn't feel that you have a candidate that represents you. There's a lot of Republicans that don't feel like Donald Trump represents them. I mean, there's a good bit that like what he's saying. They like that he's, he says what he wants to say, and he makes no apologies about it. And after the shooting, there's a lot of people that are really on his side now. So, but again, making Joe Biden step down because of his age, because of how he performed, because of all the things you said weren't a big deal, and then all of a sudden he did a disastrous performance and now it's a big deal? You forced him to resign. You've ruined his legacy and everything the man worked his entire life for. All I can say is I hope Joe's getting paid. I hope the Democrat Party comes out of pocket and gives him a stack of cash to walk away and a promise to get his son off. They had to give him something, because just a couple of days ago he was saying, I'm staying in this race. And then today, as it was reported, he would announce on Sunday that he was going to resign or drop out of not resign, but drop out of the presidential race. That's exactly what he did. Sorry, my wife kept texting me and I had to stop the video. But they started reporting that, and the Republicans have been saying that Joe Biden wasn't going to make it to the ballot in November. A lot of people were kind of vicious and mean with, he'll probably have some kind of, health issue that will cause him to get out of the race. Like, a lot of people were like, is he even going to be alive in November? There were some really cruel things that were said about him. But when it started getting reported that he was going to drop out, that's a rumor. That's never going to happen. Joe Biden came out and said, I'm not dropping out. I'm staying in this race. I'm going to win this. I beat him once before. I beat him again. All that stuff. And then after the debate, and then after the shooting, the Democrats were kind of like, well, fuck, what do we do now? And big money, and make no mistake, it's all about power and money. That's all they care about. And now they've proven it. If Joe really was their guy, and if they weren't so terrified of what a possible Trump presidency 2.0 was going to look like, and make no mistake, the Democrats are terrified of that because they feel they'll have a day of reckoning. And again, I'm not here to argue politics. I'm just sitting saying, from the outside looking in, what I see is going on. Because again, I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat. I'm an anarchist. So now they fear Trump. When people fear things, they kill them. A couple of weekends ago, they tend to lash out in violence. And just because they missed in Pennsylvania doesn't mean they're not going to try again. And the next time, it'll be worse. And if you think that's not the escalation we're working towards, you're not paying attention. They just made a presidential candidate who is running on supposedly a good record drop out of the race for no other reason than fear that Trump was going to win. Not that they had absolutely no faith in their candidate at all. And I think that's a sad thing and a sad day for a tradition and something that our country has done for over 200 years that I value. I think that's a horrible thing for a party to do, to make a candidate drop out just because they fear a loss. Run the gambit. It's the United States. This is what we do. You put the candidate on the ballot that is the best candidate. You don't make a guy that's already supposedly done a great job according to you, and then all of a sudden tell him, nah, man, you got to go. And then pressure him out of it with donors and supporters and all these other things. That's not how things should be done. And again, up until the debate, Joe's our guy. Joe's a great guy. Joe's going to do a great job in his second term, blah, 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 blah. Right? And now you're just going to piss all over his legacy? I'm not here to argue the politics behind it. I mean, I can sit here and talk about how some of the stuff Joe Biden's done is disastrous. And I can point out just as much as what Joe did as disastrous as what Trump did and what Obama did and then what Bush did and what Clinton did and what Daddy Bush did and what Reagan did. I can go all the way back to Reagan and point out disastrous things. I'm not here to do that. I came to do the video because I wanted to get it off my chest and say that what they're doing to Biden, what the Democrat Party has announced after stating that he was their guy and even holding supposedly one of the largest fundraisers for the Joe Biden campaign a couple of weekends ago. George Clooney did it. And then who was it that they announced was going to be somebody supposed to be getting ready to do another one, or they just did it, another big time celebrity. And now all of a sudden, no more? So that money that was for Joe Biden for president 2025 or whatever it may be, the Democrats just to get that money and give it to a new candidate? How is this legal? How is this fair? And how is it right? And trust me, I'd be screaming the same thing if they were doing it on the other side of the aisle. Because again, I think it was shitty for both candidates to say we're not debating the other potentials. The Democrat Party said altogether, we're not going to put another debate stage on. We're not holding any kind of debates. Joe Biden's our guy. Until Donald Trump showed up. And Biden had a bad day. He's not allowed to have a bad day. I digress. I mean, again, I have a different take on it than most people out there. I'm not looking at it as a Republican and Democrat thing, although I think the Democrats are going to come off looking really crappy, and they're basically giving whoever they nominate a little over 3 months to campaign, convince millions of people to vote for them. And if they somehow manage to salvage this and the whole thing works out because don't matter who, vote blue, that sounds a bit cultish to me. I'm not saying the Republicans aren't cultish. I'm just saying it don't matter who it is, you got to vote blue. That seems wrong to me. Isn't it supposed to be the best man for the job? I'm talking about RFK Jr. If they nominate him, okay, I stand corrected. But the front runner right now that everybody's talking about is Gavin Newsom. Have you seen the shithole he turned California into? You really want him doing that on the national stage? You really think that's the best option? And if that's the best thing the Democrats have got, damn, God help us. It's him, cackling Kamala, or the governor of, I think it's Michigan. I can't remember her name. But none of those people have national draw. And if it ends up being Michelle Obama, people like Alex Jones deserve an apology. That's all I'm saying. Just a rant. Y'all like them? Don't care if you don't. Just my opinion on it. Again, sad day for Biden. His legacy is ruined. He's tarnished. He dropped out after telling everybody. Because again, there's got to be hardcore supporters for him. There's got to be people that were like, oh no, he'll still be able to do it. People that actually believed in him that now are like, well, shit, what do we do now? Those are the people I feel bad for. And for the youth within the Democrat Party that didn't align with Biden, and God only knows who they're going to get to align with him now. I don't know what they're thinking. You put him on the ballot, let him lose with dignity. Don't just make him drop out because you're panicking that you're going to lose power. And then the way the media turned against him and how they turned against him so quick and started talking about all these things and making him look as bad as it was just wrong. The way Biden was treated was wrong, and I hope his family got something out of it. I really do. Like his son getting an acquittal, something. I mean, he'll be able to pardon him because, he can pardon before he leaves. But I hope he got some kind of payment. This is just wrong. Wrong on every level. I don't care who you vote for. It's wrong. Y'all be good. Hug your loved ones each and every day, because you never know when the good Lord will call them home. For every dark night, there's always a brighter day. Life's just a party. Parties weren't meant to last. I'll see you when I see you. Y'all be good. Peace.